Again, I'm Michael LeBlanc. I'll tell you a little bit more about me in a moment. But today, what I wanted to talk about is a neighbor the other morning. We ran into each other. I walk my dogs around 6 or so in the morning. He was on his bike. And he was making a comment about how the world's gotten worse and things are just, going to hell, and that sort of comment. And it wasn't a usual comment for him. And so when he was telling me about the world getting worse and, things are going to hell, immediately I thought to myself, well, he must just be watching the news. and sure enough, as he talked to me, that's what had happened. He had been watching the news a lot. And so I wanted to talk about that today and perspective around that. And then I also wanted to share specifically a chapter in here is called Feel Better on Purpose. And so I wanted to share a couple of things I do to feel better on purpose, meaning, well, I don't need to wait till something in my life gets better for me to feel better. And actually, if I deliberately feel better, things in my life tend to get better. And there's reasons behind that. But I wanted to share that today. So good morning to you. Thanks for tuning in. Please say hello as you're watching. Again, I'm Michael LeBlanc. So I'm an author. My current book is Divine Dirt. And I'm just going to share a couple of pieces around that. So let me just jump in. So my neighbor, like I was mentioning, we run into each other the other morning. He's talking about how the world's gotten worse and life's gone to hell. And immediately I realized, well, the guy's been watching the news. and sure enough, he'd been watching the news. Now, I don't know when the news became what's true about life and what's true about the world. I'm really not sure when that happened. But if I had an ability to help remind people that the news is really just the news, it's a true TV program. They look for what's pretty dramatic that we could report on and play some maybe dramatic music around and then run it a lot and get some ratings. And I don't know when that experience called the news became how we've decided, well, that's what's going on, that's what's true in the world. I was imagining, like, you're on a beach, right? You're on a beach and there is a piece of pretty gross, disgusting litter. Now, the rest of the beach is all beautiful. The rest of the beach is great, but there's this one little spot. And you get your camera and you get a real good close-up of that one horrible spot on the beach. And then you get a bunch of people to watch that. And you play a lot of music and you play it a lot. And then all of a sudden, like the next day, you're in the store and you're like, man, our beaches are just ruined, And it amplifies a slice, a sliver, and it's not really reflective of the true nature of our world. And I think about my day to day, and it's like our most people's day to day. Your day-to-day is probably not anywhere as bad as what's going on in the news. And my neighbor, I know his day is not anywhere near horrible compared to what he's watching in the news and then saying, well, life has just gotten worse. And it's like, well, has your life gotten worse, really? And the answer for him would be, no, it really hasn't gotten worse. But he's watching the news and he's letting that decide, well, that must be true about the world. And the news is not what's true about the world. The news is a report. It's a report of a sliver of something that is going on. But that does not mean the world is worse. It does not mean anything about that. So I think that it's if you're going to watch the news, then you need to remember it's the news. and it's taken a moment in time, and it's playing on a drama piece, which helps ratings. And I'm not saying they're making up the news, but it's a sliver. It's like that idea of the beach. There's a piece of litter on the beach, and we just hone in on that. We really miss all the beauty that's right over there. And so just remember that about your life and this world. The basis of our world, I believe, is a really divine well-being. And it's well-being existing way more and in large proportions. And if that was newsworthy, I think it would get reported more. But it's not newsworthy. It doesn't play on our fear. It doesn't play on our worry. It doesn't play on drama. So one of the things I've been doing the last couple of days, actually ever since my neighbor talked to me, right? Because I purposely will not watch a lot of news. I'll watch a little bit just to kind of get a sense of some headlines, and then that's it. If I'm not going to let it decide for me how life is going. And so in your day, and I'll just invite you to do that, and that's what gets into today on Feel Better on Purpose. I don't need for life to change at all to feel better. I don't. I can't watch the news and feel better at the same time. So I can do some of it. I can turn off the news, and I can get back to the true reality going on in your world. You have a day-to-day reality, and you have the ability to look at it and see some amazing things that have maybe gone on in your day. So, I think I have traveled to about 30 countries. I've been to Yemen. I've been to the Middle East more times than I can remember. I've been to Nigeria. I've been to West Africa. Never, ever, ever, ever once in any of those years, about 30 countries, have I experienced violence, have I experienced harm, have I experienced really anything horrible. Never. And I've been to those countries that get, where the main drama can get played up. I'm 57 years old. I've seen murder a lot on TV. In my own life, I've never seen one. And I think that's significant. So if I watch the news, murder happens all the time. If I pay attention to my life, it's not that it hasn't happened all the time, but I haven't experienced a murder in my true life. And so do I dismiss that? It's like your real life, don't dismiss the good that's going on, the well-being that's going on, the good moments that are going on. We recently, a neighbor passed away of COVID. He already had health issues. He did get the virus and he didn't recover. And his system was just not strong enough. And there was so much love from just our neighbors to support his wife. And she was tested positive at that time, and we couldn't go be with her. But there was still this people checking in and just this love going on. And it's like, of course, that's not making the news, but that's an experience in my own reality. So every morning lately, I journal. I always have quiet time. I start my day. I do not start my day on social media. I do not start my day by checking email. And I definitely do not start my day by watching the news. And I don't end my day by watching the news. If my husband turns on the news at 10, which is right around when I'm going to bed, I'll go in the other room and I'll go read for a little bit. But I'm not going to watch the news before I go to bed. That's not how I want to wrap up my day. So I'm very deliberate about that. And so a couple of things I'm just going to throw out there, right? You don't need to wait for life to improve to feel better. Be intelligent if you're going to watch the news. And remember, it is a sliver of something going on that is not necessarily reflective of the whole picture of life. and pay attention to your own life, right? So I've been making lists of things I can just appreciate in my life. And it's been very fun. And I've even set little timers in my day. Like I'll get into my day and I will set a timer, and it's like, all right, the timer goes off, and then I'll just look around. It's like, what can I just appreciate right now? Because in every moment, there is good going on. In every moment, there's still well-being going on. In every moment, there's still an amazing amount of wellness going on. And I have an ability as this intelligent divine being that we all are. Where am I going to focus? Am I going to focus on the one sliver of crap and completely ignore all the good? You can, and people do, and you're going to just end up feeling bad, and you're going to get a very distorted picture of the world. So I'm going to read this little, so it's Esther Hicks. It's a book called Ask and It Is Given. She says, feeling good equals allowing the connection to source, your divine self. Feeling bad equals not allowing the connection. Feeling bad equals resisting the connection to your source. And so you are a divine being. You are, to use a word, you are God expressing. And you have an amazing ability to focus. But you have to decide what you're going to do with that. And when you focus on the worst, it should feel bad because you are focused in a way that is not in alignment with the way your divine self sees the world. And you can do something about that. So I'm going to kind of wrap it up. The news is just that. It's a deliberate moment in time, usually on something the most dramatic, highlighted, usually a little bit of intense music, kind of gets you going. It's, and then of course looping it works, right? Gets the ratings up. Now it's the news, so let it be the news, right? But don't let it decide, well, that's how the world is. You know, like my neighborhood, where the world is just getting worse. It's not. It's not. There's been horrible things in life since life. And it's not more horrible today. You're seeing more of the horror today because we can do that today. So we have to take more charge of remembering the good going around us. Every day, there's good going around you. Every day, there's not violence going on around you. That's happening on the TV. That's not happening in your life, in most people's lives. I'm not saying it doesn't happen anywhere. All right? So, I'm going to quit rambling. But I want to end on something important. I keep looking over there. You are a divine being. The source of you, the source of this life is wellness. It's good. It's abundant. I can look at lack. I can look at the worst. I can manifest those things. But it is not the true source of anything. It's kind of like I mentioned about the beach. I can focus on the one spot of litter and completely miss all the beauty that's to my left and to my right and all around me because I'm just focused on this one thing. So daily, get in the habit of minimize the news and look for things that are going well. If you want to see them, if you want to remember life's good, look for it and you'll see it. If you want to know or believe life's horrible, well, look for it. You'll find it, right? You'll find it. It's not that difficult. But we're more in the habit of looking for the drama. So, there you go. If any of that was helpful, I hope it was. and you have a great day. You can, by the way, have a great day. I know we say that, but you could deliberately decide to feel good today. You could deliberately decide to look for things that are going well in your life. You could deliberately decide to appreciate that. You could deliberately decide to appreciate someone, right? And so I see my buddy Bill has chimed in. And so I love Bill. I went to high school with Bill. I went to college with Bill. He's just an amazing soul, and I'm really glad he's still in my life. So appreciate people. Just look right around you. You know, so I have this cup and it has water in it, and I could appreciate that if I wanted to. If I wanted to. There's just stuff all over the place. All right. So again, today, Divine Dirt, the message was about feeling better on purpose. I'm going to thank my neighbor for running into me the other morning around 6 and telling me that life has gotten worse, all because he watched the news. And so I appreciate that moment because it inspired this moment.